on, everybody? Austin here from the Trying to Adult channel. Today we're taking advantage of our 15-minute break early in the day. I try to get 10,000 steps a day, so luckily for me, I get to work from home several days a week. It's just a perk of my job. So in between the work I'm conducting, I'll take advantage of my 15-minute break. And usually I'll go walking. I won't talk about my day job very much. Yes, I do have a second job, and help support things that I do in life. Gives me an opportunity to save money. Those challenges not every adult get, or not every adult has opportunity to take advantage of. So we're here. We're trying to get our 10,000 steps, and maybe we'll get about 1,200 before we're done, and get another 3,000 on our lunch, another 1,200 on our break later in the day, and then go walking before we have work later today. Sometimes I try to sneak in a workout. So today, that's what's on our agenda. Well, we made it to the park on our walk. Typically, I try to get my 10,000 steps, like I said earlier, and right now we're on our half-hour lunch, and it takes about 14 minutes to walk to the park, 14 minutes to walk back. I'll show you a lovely view of the park. Not a huge park, but I mean, it does its purpose. I don't have a great metabolism, so I have to get my exercise in, and I definitely know my caloric intake is high. That's why I'm a big guy. I like food. And I'll have to showcase some of my cooking skills at some point. So, well, how's it going, everyone? So we made it back from our walk a little early. Maybe 12 and a half minutes there, 12 and a half minutes back. So it gives us 5 minutes left on our half-hour lunch. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna make a little plate. I typically make food the night before or several days before and have it sit so I can kind of meal prep out some food. The portions are not always something that are for your average person, but here's our kitchen, our fridge. What I usually do is I will make some kind of stir fry. So we have our white rice here. And then we'll have some type of ground turkey or ground beef. Get some vegetables. I always have seasonings at my house, so I try to make sure that what I make, it looks okay. Right there you got some ground turkey, tofu, carrots, broccoli, zucchini. So that's what I'll usually, and bell peppers. So this is usually what I'll make for my meal prep. So just making a quick bit of food. As you can see, I'm a little perspirated, a little sweat on my brow, but speed walking will do that to you. So let's eat lunch real quick and get back to work. Hello and welcome today, everybody. We have gotten off work and we're going walking again. typically I try to go walking a few times a week, and well, luckily near me there are a bunch of river trails and parks that I can go explore. It's always a good time. Get my steps in. Try to consistently get my 10,000 steps. Here's the river behind us, and well, the trail. So see some wildlife as we go walking. Might see a jackrabbit, bunny rabbit, some lizards. Occasionally you might see a deer. It's kind of rare. This was a night hike. You might even get a chance to see a coyote, but that doesn't always happen. So we're here, we're exploring. Trail ahead is nice. It's a bit of an adventure. It does require me to be somewhat nimble. So we got off of work and came here. We're in between jobs. We're gonna get more steps in, and well, we'll probably try to lift some weights, use the sauna afterwards, and then prepare for, well, job 2. There's a little bit of a path you have to go through. Yes, that's a giant tree that fell, and it's cut through so people can walk over it. Not exactly ADA compliant, but this is what you'd consider a social trail rather than a state or city or county managed trail. So it's definitely a benefit to have nature so close sometimes. It's only about a 15-minute drive from where I'm at. The workday ended pretty well, so can't complain there. Now the work night, that's a whole different story. Friday nights are my busy night, and my approximate work schedule is anywhere from 45 hours to 70 hours of work a week. So I have limited free time, and I have to be very particular about my schedule. Making me time is really essential, so these walks have a dual function. I get my exercise, my steps, and it helps me just kind of relax and calm. So, I mean, nature's great. I occasionally like to do like a more than moderate hike. So we'll keep this going. I do run into a lot of people walking these trails as well.
Hello and welcome today, everybody. We have gotten off work and we're walking. Typically I try to walk a few times a week, and luckily we made it just kind of relax and calm. So, I mean, nature's great. Occasionally I like to do like a more than moderate hike. So, keep going. You run into a lot of people walking the trail as well.
Back, everybody. So I made it to one of the parts of the trail that I really like. It really opens up over here. I like bodies of water. Not a huge fan of the ocean, seas, but I will go to visit them. I'm not afraid of them. However, there are much larger sea creatures in the sea. And I just like coming here and relaxing. It's always a good spot. Hello everyone and welcome. We survived our walk and we left the river. I'm going to show you a little other part of my life. So over time I have used the funds that I've acquired through working multiple jobs to purchase items that I enjoy. I used to have a commercial gym membership. I still maintain a cheaper gym membership, but decided to purchase my own equipment. So I have a good amount of equipment that I bought. Luckily for me, I have a good relationship with my mom. You know, something I think is important is to build your relationship with your family, because you never know when they're going to pass, and not everybody has good relationships with their family, but it's important to at least build that relationship. So I'm going to show you my gym. Quite a bit of equipment, as you can see behind me. You know, fans, just different things. Yes, I have a infrared sauna. I have TVs. I have other equipment. Back extension, hex bar, multiple weights, and we even here have a leg press. It doubles as a hack squat as well. If you look at other parts of the backyard, you can see we have other stuff, and of course the squat rack. Now, right here we have our TV. I typically like to watch my anime while I work out. Today we're going to be doing some upper body bench press, biceps and triceps. We're about 2 hours out from work, so we're going to make the best of the time that we have. Work out, use a sauna, take a shower, head to work. Obviously I'm going to change into my work specific clothes, but alright.
Because you're older than me doesn't mean anything.
The show. So I'm currently on my very first tour. I'm on the Coast to Country tour right now. 48 hours from now I'll be in Nashville, Tennessee. And about 3 days ago, I was in Idaho, and before that I was in LA. So we're all over the place and we're having so much fun. So I can't wait to be back here in Sacramento. I'm a Roseville girl. Born and raised Roseville, Oakmont Vikings. I don't know if this separates us, but it's been really fun since being on the road that, I mean, I love getting to meet you guys and get you guys to be a part of my family, and I get to be besties with all of you. That's the goal by the end of the show. And I think it's really important that we support the women in country music. We support the women that sing it. We support the women that write it. We support the women that produce it. And we support the women that come to the country shows. So thank you guys so much.
How's it going, everybody? So today we're working on a few projects. We made it to Sunday. We got to Costco. We have a few other errands to hit today. But as of right now, my windows covers came in for my SUV. We're going to spray paint them, and that's just part of today. We're here at my mom's house. I probably didn't explain this earlier in the video, but I have a good relationship with my mom, and she lets me store my gym equipment at her house. It also benefits her because she gets to use my gym equipment, and she's the caretaker for my niece and my nephew. So it really benefits her to centralize her life. But yeah, let me just show you what we're doing today. Here we have our window covering. I really like the idea of car camping, so I want to make some window coverings that are darkened. I don't just want like some kind of shine. So we got this midnight black. It's like an eco-friendly, basically, you know, safe for like air consumption spray paint, because this is going to be inside my vehicle, and even after it dries I don't want fumes, so, or I don't want any damage to my windows. So this is just one of many that are going to go on the SUV windows for when I go car camping. All right, everybody, so we made it to one of our other destinations. We have a little bit more grocery shopping to do, and we're going to a specialty market called Oto's. They specialize in Japanese items. Because I'm a bit of a weeb, and because a lot of the animes I've had or have watched this recently feature sake and Django. We're going to pick up a few items that I've been craving. We're also going to look in to see if they have some A5 Wagyu. So stay tuned. So we got our stuff from Oto's. Now we just got to put it away. Bought a few things. I'll show you. The main thing I went for today, well, sake. Yes, I drink alcohol. Some more sake. And, where is it? Ta-da! Wagyu beef. All right, everybody, to further add on to my weekend, yes, it's a busy weekend. There's a lot packed in. We have to get our cosplay ready for the next 2 conventions that we're going to. Upcoming conventions include Lodi Comic Con and Fanime in San Jose. Right now, I'm working on my King Kai cosplay, which I haven't worn in a while. It's kind of been sitting around, and some of the pieces came up, so we gotta get a few things fixed on that. Lately, I've been wearing my my One Piece cosplay. If you're familiar with One Piece, and you're a weeb like me, you probably know red-haired Shanks and his crew. Part of his crew is a member called Lucky Roo. Now, I'm a bigger guy. If I shave, I can pull that cosplay off. So here, let me just show you my King Kai cosplay and just some of the things that we have to fix. As you can see, some of the pieces are coming up. Now, those are all just glued down. We just have some Elmer's glue right here and some foam. We have a few pieces that fell off and are missing, and we just have to approximate those 2 pieces. So that's what we're going to be doing. So I'll show you the end result once I complete this. So we got it in. I think we need to press this down a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a heavy surface object to push it down. Something that we're missing here is bobby pins. That is something I definitely need to get my hands on, because I haven't worn this in a while, and I made this myself, by the way. So yeah, stay tuned. Maybe you'll get to see me in some of my cosplays. So this is how we're ending our weekend. Feeling a bit lazy, got a lot done today. I have to prep for next week, so maybe this is not how we're gonna end our weekend, but we're definitely going to at least make some meal preps for the upcoming week. But in the meantime, I'm kind of just chilling with my sake. My little dangos. If you've never had these before, you usually get them at like Japanese stores. You'll see them in animes. They're like rice cake balls. They're kind of sweet. Other than that, I'm watching my anime. Watching a little anime called Fuse. It's cool. I like it. It goes well with my sake, that's for sure. And it definitely goes well with the dango. So we're gonna enjoy that. I am in such a good mood. The sake is great, and I moved on from watching some anime, and now I'm watching the new episode of The Last of Us. I'm not much of a gamer, but I do love sci-fi and post-apocalyptic things. So let's take a look at this. Here's the sake. Here's the latest episode. We're having a good time. Alright, everybody. It's a little late, but we're ending our weekend, doing a little bit of editing, and yeah. So stay tuned for the next video. I'm not sure what it's going to be about, but it's definitely showcased some of the aspects of my life